Hey there, I wanted to drop in on you and give you just a little bit of a tune in on the energy so that you can make the best possible use of the energy at this time. So, I am hoping that you're having a beautiful new moon day, and that's where I want to start out with because the new moon is really this time of going within. It is a time where there's not a lot of light in the moon. Light reflects moon. It's really your consciousness. It's the great nurturer. It is the queen energy as well, and it's the collaborator. And one of the beautiful things about the new moon is when there's not as much light in the outer world and it's not reflecting as much light, it's a great time to go in and plant your seeds. And even literally in the garden, we plant our seeds during that time so that the roots go down and then the shoots go up to the light. But we've got to plant the roots down. So right now, what is it that you want to intend for yourself to root to during this new moon? So I want to invite you to become aware of what that is. Now, as far as what you want to root in, because of where this new moon is, and in Vedic astrology, it's actually in Gemini, in a particular nakshatra called Ardha. And in this placement, it is really inviting us to it's very intellectual, it's very flexible, but it is really inviting us to get creative and to get flexible with our perceptions and intellectually about maybe solving any problems. We have this opportunity to shift things this next month and in this lunar month as opposed to a calendar month. And coming from a place of like, what is it that's up for you mentally maybe, that is really up for a shift right now. Now, I also want to say that, and this will tie into this, that we've got Mars, we've got Mercury, we've got the Mars, Mercury, and the Sun all traveling really close together, this triplet, okay? So that means that we have the leader, the celebrity, the king, that's the Sun. We have got the honorable warrior, the strategist, and the engineer, that's Mars. And we've got the communicator with the communicator, the merchant, and the messenger, that's Mercury. And because these are all so close together and they're traveling with the sun is hot. Let's face it, we don't look directly at the sun for a reason. It can burn your eyes up. So you have to be really careful when we have planets too close to the sun. What this really means is if you have any of those archetypes, and you have them somewhere in you, but if they're in your Sacred Wealth Code, and if you're not sure, you can always get a Sacred Wealth Code reading or get the book, Your Sacred Wealth Code, and it'll guide you to your archetypes. So Sacred Wealth Code reading or Sacred Wealth Code, the book, and you can get them all on my website. Easiest way is sacredwealthcode.com, sacredwealthcode.com. And these archetypes are going to be heated up. So there's a potential for more reactivity. There's a potential for quick and fast and reactive and thinking. Be careful of especially if you have any of Mars's archetypes, or just you're feeling that over productivity, over aggressiveness in any way. Be careful of any of that. That's really super important to be careful of. So because this next couple of months actually there'll be this hot aspect. So with the new moon, though, you're really being asked and given this opportunity to shift your perception around any of those, the perceptions that you might have that those archetypes might hold for you. And you can do it. You can really do it pretty quickly, but you want to be creative in your thoughts. So, and also in your communication, this might be something we need to talk about, okay, in order to shift that. So if you have that agitation going on, things are moving hot and fast, your mind's too hot and fast, you're pushing too hard, you want to take a deep breath, you want to let that go, you want to get creative with your thoughts. How could I do this differently? If I did let this pushy energy go, what might be open for me? It's in the northern hemisphere. It's summer. Yay! Chill out a bit. Chill out. When we chill out, we open up, and we can invite in more. Now, also with the new moon energy, again, planting the seeds at this time, you'll want to, again, there's a time of busting through some of these perceptions that are holding you back, especially with where this is in Gemini and with the planets it's involved in. And actually, Lord Shiva is part of what rules this nakshatra. I'm not going to geek out on the Vedic astrology too much, but here's what I want you to know is that the perceptions that you have right now that are not serving you are really up for busting through, especially the ones with the archetypes hold that I've mentioned already. So what I want to invite you to do right now is to just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe in through your heart. That'll always bring that mind and the heart together. The mind can help hold the doors open to the heart, or the mind can be the big separator between you and your heart, you and your soul, you and your greater knowing. So what I want to invite you to do is take a deep breath through your heart and just open up to, if I really tell myself the truth, what am I believing? What am I perceiving? What am I reacting to that would be really useful for me to see differently, for me to reframe, for me to have another vantage point? And just tune into whatever that is. And whatever that is for you, you can type that into the chat here, and I'd love to know what that is for you. And whatever that is for you, let's also come down to inspired action, because your heart knows. And yes, of course, we can discuss this and collaborate more, and I can help you be more strategic, but your heart does know. So what's, asking your heart again, what's one inspired action I can take to shift this perception, to bust through this perception, what's not working for me right now, or the way I'm not seeing this with as much light as I need to? What's the inspired action? And whatever comes up for you, again, feel free to type that in as well. And here's the thing. In order to live fully integrated, soul to soul, you've got to take these inspired actions. You have to come down to full embodiment, and all the way down to the soles of your feet. So I want to invite you to take that inspired action, and if you need help doing that, do not hesitate to reach out. We are here to help you. And with this new moon energy, you're planting the seeds of a new way of being for yourself if you choose to do that. Now, we have a whole other aspect that I'm going to tell you about. And this is, I've been talking with my Sacred Wealth Circle and the Business Academy about this. Saturn, which is the organizer, the administrator, and advocate, has been, it stays in a position for 2.5 years, okay? And then it moves to another constellation. And in Vedic astrology, it had been in Scorpio for 2.5 years, and then it moved into Sagittarius, and now it's just slid back, literally as we speak, back into Scorpio. Now here's the thing. Saturn moves really slowly. And as it's come a little bit into Scorpio and back into a little bit into Sagittarius and back into Scorpio, it has stayed in a particular degrees that really are kind of like it's out to lunch. Now, here's the problem. I'm going to tell you what the problem with that and what's good about that. Where Saturn was for the last couple of years in Scorpio was pretty challenging for a lot of people, and it also brought about a lot of truth, because this is the planet of truth or consequences. That organizer, that administrator, and that advocate is going to get to the truth, and if you're not open to it, it will take you down and put you on your knees until you're able to see it. But it always will pay you with interest in the long run. It makes you be patient, because Saturn is the most spiritual planet and wants you to know that it's the world behind your eyes that really matters. And we have to live full out with the world in front of our eyes, but you can't take that with you. That is, it's ephemeral, it's all passing. So Saturn being in this sort of out to lunch place, it creates a lot of instability, and we're seeing that in the world, that it creates a lot of instability. And this instability, we need structures, we need form, we need, there we go. We need structures, we need form, and it doesn't always, if it's not in place, we won't have those structures, and the form is kind of breaking down. Now that's kind of an issue for us collectively, and we're seeing a lot of forms break down. But the thing is that there is a blessing in everything, and we have some forms that need to break down. but we don't have the stability that we might need right now for some things. And that doesn't mean just don't do anything, okay? And it doesn't mean don't use your organizer or your administrator or your advocate. But what it does mean is that it's reorganizing a part of you. And you might not be able to depend on it and lean into it for that structure and stability that is normally there. But also if you have a lot of control, which those archetypes can, that control can be loosening up right now. So the form is changing, and for you, you have to look at, if you've got that, we all have that archetype in us somewhere, but if it's part of your wealth code, some of the form that it's holding for you in your purpose, your business, your project in the world could be shifting and could be changing. By the time we have to get through October. So by the time we get to November, this is going to fully shift out. So this has been around all year, and it's going to be around for the rest of the year. And so there's a transcendent part of it. So there's new forms coming in. That's a beautiful thing. So you want to hold your intention for the energy of the new form. You may not know exactly what the new system is, the new structure, the new package in your business, so stay with what you've got for now. But have the intention for the energy of the new form. So maybe you want something that's simpler, that's easier, that allows your gifts to shine brighter, that reaches more people, that gives you more freedom. These are the sort of when we get into the purpose of things, the underlying energy of things. So you stay connected to that energy behind the form that will be emerging. And if there's things that are breaking down, be willing to let go of what's not working anymore. That's the biggie. Be willing to let go of what's not working anymore. And sometimes we have to let go before we find out what's new. Now, I'm not saying to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not saying like if you really feel like you're giving your gift and it's just not paying you back, well, we just might need to make a shift or a tweak with that or clear some blocks with that. Not throw it all out, but it might be time to make a shift from the way you see it and you perceive it, or the way you're being it or doing it. As I talked about the new moon and the opportunity to shift your perception, that's a great energy to use to shift the way you see it. And then opening up to, again, keep asking, keep tuning in and asking what really wants to come through here. What I talk about as far as inspired action is so incredibly important to follow through with, because what that will do is that inspired action will bring it down into embodiment for you. We'll bring it down into full embodiment for you. And if you're not taking inspired action, the problem with that is that you might still have the knowing. And I work with a lot of people like this, super conscious. You're here because you're really conscious. But the thing is we have to close that gap between what we know to be true and what we're actually being and doing. Being and doing. That's that living from soul to soul that we talk about, that I talk about, and that I want you to live, because we all need to be super squeaky clean with ourselves and really in full integrity. And just remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. It's really about the next step, that next inspired action, that next letting go, that next breakthrough. And you can drive from here, from wherever you are, 500 miles away, 3,000 miles away in the fog with the headlights on, just being able to see a couple hundred feet in front of you. As long as you're staying present, you will see what you need to do next. So presence means keep tuning in with your wealth code, keep tuning in with your heart, pay attention to your intuition, how you're feeling, that gut, yes or no. And if you need more support, grab your Sacred Wealth Code, unlock your soul blueprint for purpose and prosperity if you don't already have it. You can also connect with me about the Sacred Wealth Circle or the Sacred Wealth Business Academy. I'm totally here to support you. And of course, if you have any questions, just comment, and I'll be in the forum and help you with that as well. Okay, so much love to you. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And have a beautiful day. Find a way to give your gift to somebody today.